So we're gonna play around with ChatGPT to come up with a book outline. This is something I have done quite frequently before. And I think depending on what AI you use, I know Gemini sometimes does really well, and then sometimes it doesn't. And I know Claude does really well, but I'm just gonna use ChatGPT for now because yeah, it's still good. So let's see. The book title will be Gardening 101 Weeks. So I'm just going to ask it to give me a book outline for this book titled, you know what? Let's just say, give me a book outline for a book titled Gardening. Mm, no, actually, yeah, but let's actually pretend we already have our, I guess, book title. So Gardening 101 for beginners. Great. Copy that just in case. Let's see what it gives us. I mean, so Gardening 101 for beginners. Okay, so it's giving us our introduction here. Why gardening? Who this book is for. Oof, I see this a lot. In Amazon now, actually. I think the quality of books on Amazon has completely tanked since ChatGPT, and not because I think AI is necessarily bad to use, but I think people aren't editing enough, or at least prompting better. I don't know. Okay, so the next one, chapter one, getting started, understanding the basics of gardening. What is gardening? Why gardening? What is gardening? Okay, the importance of soil. Okay, so it's starting from scratch, basically. Planning your garden, soil fertilization, watering. Okay, great. So I don't like this kind of outline, although it looks good. I know you're probably thinking you don't see anything wrong. Maybe you do. Maybe you're like me. This kind of book is not going to stand out, in my opinion. I just don't see, I couldn't tell it apart from the others. It would just be the same thing. There's so many gardening 101 books for beginners on Amazon, for instance. Um, so you kind of want something different. And what I will say, yeah, absolutely. So I'm just going to say, so if I mean, there are many people who are going to have similar book titles as you, right? And they're probably going to use AI in the same way, like you are asking for outlines. So you want to ensure that your book has an edge or that thing that is like very different. So I'm going to say the above is very basic and not interesting. Sorry. Um, give me a new outline, but make it very specific, super relatable. Um, focus on angles and things other books like this topic don't focus on. Ensure you set the book apart. Oof. Okay, whatever from others. Um, be very different. And I like always adding be shocking. Um, it just always surprises me when I add that. I don't know why. Be shocking. And yeah, let's see what it gives us. So, so the title that it's given us now is Gardening 101 for Beginners, which is fine. I think keyword wise, this is great because Amazon, from what I've seen, this is something that will rank. However, the competition is quite tough there, so just keep that in mind. The shocking truths, I don't like that already. Brutal mistakes and secret hacks no one tells. Ooh, this is an interesting book title. You could add to like have a book on gardening secrets and hacks. Anyway, so the ugly truth about gardening is hard, really hard. Okay. Sorry, I really don't like this angle. However, what I do like is how deep it's going into the information. Yeah. Okay. Don't be negative. My goodness, ChatGPT. Um, and I don't like how long it is. It's really not easy to digest. Be very punchy. Use super simple English. Um, be very relatable, like I said, because it's gonna forget it's new. Don't use the words. It's isn't about don't ask. I really don't like all those kind of words. There's a long list that I typically give ChatGPT to not include of words and phrases, buzzwords. So now it says gardening 101 for beginners, the secrets, hacks, and truths no one ever told you. Okay, so now kind of getting somewhere. Interesting, interesting. Introduction. So you want to garden? Okay, let's do this. I have no idea why it likes doing this. Um, and it's completely gone left. Be punchy. Be very human, please. Also, I'm gonna probably do a video on how to humanize AI content. Like there's a far better system of doing this. Obviously, this is just me showing you quickly how to come up with a book outline. Okay. Yeah. So interesting. So I'm gonna do now is I will so I'm gonna get the list of words that I pretty much was talking about and add it here. Because ChatGPT is being very rebellious, as you can see. Okay, so I'm gonna come here. Oof, can't come there. All right, we're gonna add a list of words that I do not want it to include. I'm gonna come and copy this. There we go. And let's see what it gives us now. Oh, I forgot one major important thing actually. Um, if you a lot of the books that are online forget that people who buy these types of books, especially on like beginner gardening level, already have tried to start their own garden and they've probably realized, oh shoot, yeah, this is not working. Why the hell are my plants dying? So they already have some sort of, experience with that. So keep that in mind. Keep in mind a lot of beginner gardening book buyers may already have tried gardening or have an existing garden that failed. So, maybe this should be an important angle. Okay. Oh, I like this. Let's get it right this time. So sweet. Although I don't think I would necessarily add this in the subtitle. So introduction, tried gardening, didn't work. Let's fix that. I like that actually. So at the angle, actually, this makes so much sense. This makes so much sense, especially because the books that I see on Amazon, I just don't see a lot of this like at all. Like this angle is rarely, if ever, like ever used. I don't know. Let me know in the comments if there's a book that does this. Yeah. So introduction, tried gambling. do not, do not do that. Tried gardening, it didn't work. Let's fix that. You tried, plants. Okay, great. Failure happens if you don't fix what went wrong. Wait, but if you don't fix what's wrong, it'll keep happening. You've tried before. Yeah, this is very reassuring and helpful. Bioswale is the real problem. Okay, interesting. Bad dirt. Okay. Bio what? Forget the overpriced. Interesting. Interesting. So yeah, I think it's doing what I asked it to do, which is to like talk about things that other books wouldn't, or maybe um, kind of angle it in a way that other books aren't angling it. Clearly, chapter 2, plants don't need to be pampered, they just need the basics. This is very true. I think I'm noticing that actually it's gardening is quite straightforward. We're just complicating it. Stop overwatering it, drowning them. Absolutely, watering seems to be a really big issue. I like this. Chapter 3, the one thing you're doing wrong, too much water. Absolutely. This is another, a lot of the first time gardeners who are kind of like trying to really make their gardens survive and be a success, water is usually an issue. It's probably when they water, how much they water, what kind of water. Sometimes borehole water is problematic for some plants. They're very interesting things. Water. Absolutely. Yellow leaves, that's a big thing. So yeah, I like that it gets straight to the point and it helps them manage the gardens they have. The gardens they have, and kind of like find a way to fix and cure, you know? So this is great. I love this angle. Ooh, I wish I was actually interested in writing this book. Bugs, okay, that's an interesting one. Stop trying to make your garden look perfect. It doesn't work. Watering isn't a chore. Make it easy. Indoor gardens will get you results faster. Interesting. Interesting. Actually, hydroponics definitely should not be fancy. I know a lot of places, especially in different African countries, that use this system and it works. So you don't need like crazy amounts of money or space or whatnot. Failures are normal, but let's make sure you learn from them. Absolutely. Interesting. I love this book. I love how it feels like you are having a conversation with someone, you can trust, and it's so reassuring and peaceful. So I love this. I would absolutely write this book. However, the problem now is you want as much information as possible, especially if you're going to give this outline to a potential ghostwriter. In my opinion, if I was the writer, I would want more info for each chapter. Some people will work with this. Some ghostwriters may actually ask you to do a mini chapter for each chapter, like maybe like 500 words that describe what the chapter should be like, or your attempt at a chapter. So what I would do is I would say I like the above outline. Um, don't change it. However, ensure you add at least 4 points under each chapter and give really great points to focus on for a potential ghostwriter or some direction. Don't leave out important things at all. Guide them to write exactly how we want it. Okay, let's see. And then yeah, so I feel like this kind of goes into how you brief writers as well, ghostwriters in your book. Um, tried gardening. Okay, so it's still clearly keeping the same. Um, what is it? Headings. So 4 points. Address the failure head on. This time we'll do it right. Let's get real. It's all about the basics. So acknowledge that most people are trying gardening. What is it? Most people trying gardening and failed. Acknowledge the frustration. Absolutely. I love this. See, it's doing it so well. I mean, not perfect, but it gets the idea. And I think this is something great to use and work off of. Chapter 1, why soil is the real problem. But soil equals, oh yeah, I love this. How to identify, but teach them how to check. So yeah, this is great. I think this is good enough to come up with a decent book. And of course, based off of your research, each point has its own research. So okay, overwatering, what is that? How to test it? What is that? So I'm sure you're gonna have a list of other things underneath. Unless if you strictly want to use AI to write your book, those are still really good. Um, so yeah, continue. This might be a book. It's definitely going to be well over 120 pages in my opinion. Whereas the first one would have been 75 to 100 pages, just based off of my experience when using AI writing books and stuff. Um, but yeah, there you have it. It's quite simple to come up with your book outline if you don't know what to do. But bye, guys.